Hi everyone and welcome back to Chemical Cringe. I'm gonna keep it honest with you, I love the DCEU but I have no rights to justify why I enjoy it because many videos when talking Superman 2025 DCEU fans get split up into who's quote-unquote one of the good ones or just right off the DCEU without any nuance, so I'm gonna skip all that BS. I brought up people being two-faced earlier, and that's what DCEU went through by people who hated it once Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam released quote DC on film is back, screw hack Snyder. But after that, never showing up to a DC film after that. WB bent over backwards to make Air Suicide Squad to be like Guardians of the Galaxy and Whedon Justice League to be like Avengers. The DCEU got light to match MCU cause back in the day post Fantastic Four and Superman. MCU fans dunked on DCEU fans. But in the end, DCEU fans get nothing, no ending, no closure, no Deadpool vs Wolverine, which is ironic cause now we all call WB the shit fucks down the street. And listen, I'm glad Zack got his real Justice League film to be seen, but it is a bit unfair that now that Gunn in charge, it's screw you old fans, you deserve nothing for being a fan, and Gunn fans act all high and mighty like it's 2016 era DCEU hate. No matter who took over the DCEU, that person still would have gotten hated on for being on WB's side. As a fan, the DCEU was a mess, but it was my mess and I wish it had brighter days ahead. However, if Gunn wasn't in charge, I think more people would have been open-minded, minus DCEU haters rooting for change but hurting others with hating on things unfairly, being lil haters making the transition miserable for all. But since we have Gunn, it's just mess after mess. Air film being ruined by the studio to copy James Gunn's Nachos, only to then lie about a soft reboot, to then hire the man they tried copying only to then be rewarded getting the keys, feels very gross to me. I'm not saying The Rock would have fared better, but I at least liked Black Adam, plus I would take that character over a cringe 2010 middle school edgy humor spouting headcanon version of Peacemaker being DC's industry plant being shoved everywhere. In terms of James Gunn, things I like are Scooby-Doo 2000's live-action films and also the hard reboot to rebrand Guardians for both MCU and later media, but notice how both films mentioned are PG and rated. Heck, Scooby was gonna push harder for an older rating, but WB said absolutely not, and in the end we got a nostalgic, fun, fondly remembered films, and I liked Guardians. But this is not me speaking over OG fans post-Gunn getting his hands on them, but you notice a trend of what I'm saying. Gunn is best working in PG to PG-13. Once Gunn gets to do R-rated stuff, it's either 50-50. It's his PG-13 writing is fun, but once it hits R, it's like giving a middle schooler their first R-rated film. It's just very immature and not the fun type that all can collectively enjoy, no problem. Can Gunn add heart to something? I believe so, however that heart is rooted more in irony, and if you're lucky to get a sequel or 3 films, then the characters get to have more heart, but this works for more quirky things like Scooby or hard rebranding like say Guardians. But for Superman, I just think Gunn is gonna fumble it. I like the fortress scene, it's very Silver Age brave and the bold animated series coded. However, Gunn more quirky stuff from other stuff creeps in, and by that point you kinda know you're watching a James Gunn film. While Superman may have Gunn pushed to his limit to do new things writing wise, then it's clear James shouldn't be writing the film in the first place. I may be sounding harsh and I don't know, maybe I could be salty, but if WB has another flop, it's over. DC will just be Batman only and no more characters, and goodness knows how that could affect other media. Given Gunn just watched YouTube essays to get the casting, no joke, look it up on this site. I think the cast could save it. I may be blunt on James' casting stealing, but I do love David in the role. It's giving Tyler than Henry for me in terms of past actors go, and if anything I'm here for David and hoping the best for him. My personal theory is the merch will salvage this film, but the film will do fine but will stumble, but once digital hits it will make back its budget plus DVD sales, and WB will just do what they did with past semi-decent success and a sequel gets made. Unlike Zack, I think even DCU biggest shooters will say it's good, but however, and Gunn is removed from writing and directing the sequel and most upcoming DCU projects. Despite being negative, I'm excited for the film, but in fairness, David being cute, Kripo and the merch is probably my favorite thing out of this, and if that's the case then my standards weren't too high cause of Gunn, but would get something fun out of the disaster if that's the case.